And welcome back to the And a Side of Fries podcast. As always, for episode 2, I should say, not as always, I am Alex Kazora, along with my co-host, the lovely Kaitlyn Mulligan. Kaitlyn, we're back. It's only been a couple months.
I know. We suck at this, apparently.
Yeah, we're not podcasting pros. But I think we're going to be a lot better this time than the Sheets review we had back in May. For one, you're not sick and coughing.
Woo!
The plague that was maybe not the best timing for the podcast, and I believe our audio is 1,000,000 times better because we each have a headset and everything should be good. So I think we're making progress, Kaitlyn.
We're moving on up in the world of podcasts.
All right. Today, as I'm sure you can already tell by the title of this, we're going to review Haas's, which I think is interesting because Kaitlyn and I have, I think, different experiences. She's the Haas's veteran, and I was basically the rookie, but we're going to get into that a little bit later on in the show. And we could go a lot of different directions with this to start, Kaitlyn. First of all, I want to congratulate you, if it's okay to do so, on you becoming the founder and creator of, and I believe I'm saying this correctly, Spoon University? Is that what it's called?
Well, I honestly, yeah, it's called Spoon University.
Okay.
I founded it, I didn't just found Spoon University,
Sure, right.
Like people did that forever ago. But I did it at a college that we would go to, but I'm not going to talk about it too much because I haven't really started anything yet, so it's kind of still not a thing yet.
Okay, so am I speaking too soon, I guess? But
a little bit.
Okay, but
that's okay.
I think you have a good chance to do it. So we'll talk about that later on. But that's a big food milestone, and I don't know how many of those we're gonna have in this podcast. So I thought it was good to talk about that.
I could talk about it more, like if it really becomes a thing.
Yeah, sure, of course. And no, I definitely want you to when it becomes a thing. 'Cause I think you're gonna take off with it. What I also wanted to talk about before we get into our restaurant review is Kaitlyn and I both have a big love of Food Network and Food Network Star, and I feel like they've saved themselves this past Sunday. I feel like this past couple seasons of Food Network Star have been pretty terrible, to be honest. And this past, what's that?
Lacking.
Yeah, you're nicer than I am saying it. But I think they were just boring and just kind of going through the motions. But last Sunday, for anyone who didn't watch it, was probably their best episode in a couple years. Maybe I honestly think that I can say that with sincerity. Where they did a cook-off with Bobby Flay in the realm of their Beat Bobby Flay show that he has. It's very popular, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know what you thought of it, Kaitlyn, but I thought it was a great episode.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really cool because I think most people, especially people who want to be on Food Network, they obviously everyone knows who Bobby Flay is, but also I think a lot of these type of people imagine themselves going up against Bobby Flay. So here was an instance where they literally were doing that. And I also thought it was pretty funny. I mean, I don't know how much are we giving it away the entire thing, but just the way that the challenge was set up. I'll just leave it at that. But I thought it was really good. The one thing that does kind of bug me, and I love Bobby Flay, but this has always bugged me about him, is that he's so full of himself. Like
That's
when they
part
were
of his
announcing,
personality.
I know, but like, and he is a master. Like he's amazing. So in a way, like he has a right to be full of himself, but at the same time, like when they were announcing, like, yeah, we're gonna do this. It's based off Beat Bobby Flay, so you guys have to go up against him. He's just sitting there like really smug, like, yeah, try to come at me. And I just think it's so funny because I mean, I don't know, he's really good at what he does. So I guess I can't say too much, but it's just every single show that he's in basically is just beat down with Bobby Flay, like
You're challenging, challenging Bobby Flay.
Yeah, it's all just like try to beat Bobby Flay, and it's just, I don't know, I just think it's funny.
I think he's my favorite Food Network personality. I mean,
Yes.
there's so many people I like. They have such a great cast, and they've been able to keep them for so long, which is super impressive. He's my favorite, and I think part of what makes him my favorite is because he'll go out there and cook. I mean, he cooks, like he's a guest almost, because he has so many different shows and has been an Iron Chef and Beat Bobby Flay, where he's constantly putting himself, behind the stove. And I know your favorite, in a close second for me, is Alton Brown. And the one criticism that I think you and I both share about Alton is he never cooks. You want to see him put an apron on and get into a competition. He talks about food. He's incredibly smart, incredibly bright and charismatic, but he never, ever, gets into the ring.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say that I am not here on this podcast to insult one of my favorite
I'm not
people in the
insulting.
entire
Who's
world.
insulting?
Ever.
It's a fair criticism.
You use the word criticism.
It's a
and
fair
really,
criticism.
But I just love Alton Brown so much that I don't even really want to do that.
So
okay,
you're blinded by
a little bit, because he's just amazing. And Alex, we went to an Alton Brown show and he cooked then. So I don't really want to hear you.
Yeah, but it's not a competition setting.
Also, though, I understand he doesn't compete as much, but
at all.
But you don't really understand, because you were not part of Good Eats when that was still a show.
You're right.
And so you just don't understand. Okay, I'm just going to leave it.
But that's my point. We know he can cook. We know it's not like he's a bad cook. This isn't a facade that he puts on where he pretends like he's a good chef when he's not. He is. And he did it on Good Eats, like you said. He knows the food
science. Your criticism is that he doesn't compete. Yes. It's not that he doesn't cook. Because you said he never, ever cooks.
Well, in a competition on Food Network, every other Food Network chef has, or star has cooked.
Giada.
Yeah, she has a show. Yeah, I mean, you could go through the whole list. They've all, at some point... But she doesn't
compete.
Yeah, but at least she has a cooking show.
So does Alton. Good Eats.
Well, yeah, it's not
and
on
they're
anymore.
Bringing it back, I think.
Hopefully, but that could be a criticism of Giada.
I don't want to fight about this anymore.
I'm not fighting. I think we've agreed on this in the past. that I'd like to see Alton Brown get into a cooking competition.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying. I love Alton Brown. He's my second favorite one. But and the other.
I just have to end the note on how much I love him and how talented he is and how smart and funny, and I just love him.
No disagreement there. And he posted on Facebook yesterday with Jet Tila. Tila, is that how do you say his last name?
Yeah,
Tila. Am I saying that right? They got matching tattoos, which is just so cool. It's amazing.
FF tattoos. It's so cool, and it says "Never be daunted," which is a Hemingway quote. And they didn't even realize it, but they're so amazing that they got a Hemingway quote tattooed on their bodies on Hemingway's birthday.
Was it?
Yes.
I didn't know.
They in the video, they were talking about it, and somebody else mentioned that, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, is it his birthday?" And they couldn't even believe it.
So they had no idea. That was just.
They had no idea. They didn't do it on purpose, but yeah, it was Facebook Live, and it looks really cool, and I love that they're friends, and the end.
I think I told you this yesterday when we were talking about it, Kaitlyn. I think Jet Tila is probably the most underrated, personality / chef on Food Network. Because no one ever talks about him. I think he's incredible. He's got a great personality. He's a good cook. I love his perspective. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, so Food Network, keep doing what you're doing with at least FNS, because I don't know, to go back to that, because that's kind of how we started this conversation. I felt like it was just going through the motions of, okay, here's a kooky person, and here's a good old Southern boy, and here's a chef, and they just here's your point of view, you got to tie it back, and it was never exciting. It was never really intense. I never cared about the people too often, and I felt like I was invested in one of the episodes finally last Sunday, and that was good to see. I don't know if you is that all?
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it.
Do you agree that Food Network Star's kind of gone downhill a little bit the last couple seasons? Yeah.
Well, obviously. I mean, it's kind of because they used to actually produce stars that continue to do things, and now it's the past couple you don't even see them anymore.
Yeah. Well, they've had some controversy with their picks. With Lenny 2 seasons ago, right after he won, they found out about a lot of skeletons in his closet stuff he was saying before the show, and that kind of disqualified him right after. Eddie Jackson's been around. He's not a big face, but he's still been around. Who else is fairly recent, Kaitlyn, that is...
I mean, the last one was Trigay, and I've never seen her do anything.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about her.
I mean, I think the thing is like, they found Guy Fieri and through Food Network Star, and so they were like, wow, we have this big thing on our hands because he was what they needed at the time, and now it's just like people like Food Network Star more than they like the shows that the Food Network stars actually end up having.
Definitely.
So it's kind of like we want to keep having this competition show because it's good. And it is. I love Food Network Star, but then it's like after it's over and you have this winner and it's just like, like when I think about it, it's like I wouldn't really watch a lot of these people's shows, but I'm rooting for them anyway because it's a competition show and I want to win,
Right. I think that's the reason a lot of people watch is for the competition. So I'm glad. I think what made last week's episode, and we're recording this on July 22nd, so whatever the last Sunday from that was, I think what made that episode interesting because it brought back the competition element to a whole new level, and I think that's what had me invested in it. But I think the other factor with why the winners aren't as known, because as Food Network's gotten bigger and they've been able to afford and get big time talent like Bobby Flay and Giada and all them, they haven't had room for these new people to take the center stage. When Guy Fieri won, when did Guy Fieri win? 2000.
It was like season 2.
When was that?
And we're in season, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I mean it was a long time ago. So Food Network had those openings. They didn't have the faces they do today, and there was room for a new face, especially Guy Fieri, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but you can see how his personality would lend itself to being someone people pay attention to, letting him kind
Guy
of
won in 2006.
Wow, okay, I was close. So 2005.
Second season.
Wow, who won season 1? Did that person even exist?
I think I looked it up once. I'm not sure who, like, the names, but I think 2 people won for some reason.
Really?
And I don't know how it was. But you know what I want? I want Food Network Star to go back to that 1 or 2 seasons that they had where Bobby, Giada, and Alton, I'm always going to root for Alton to be in everything, but the 3 of them, they all picked their teams, and then they, like, mentored them, and it was just so cool because it was like, here are these star, celebrity chefs that have been on Food Network for years and years and years. They know what they're doing. They are good at what they're doing. And not only are they mentoring their kids, per se, but then their kids, their mentees, I guess.
Apprentices, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Competing against each other. So it was like there was this competition element, but then there was also this teaching element. And I really liked the competition between Alton, Giada, and Bobby because they are hilarious when they're like making fun of each other and just throwing jabs because I think that's my favorite part of Beat Bobby Flay. Also, I think I said Beat Bobby Flay, like I think I said the wrong title earlier.
Really? What'd you say?
Yeah.
I didn't even catch it.
I don't remember what I said, but whatever. But Beat Bobby Flay is awesome whenever they have other celebrity chefs on because they all make fun of each other and they
instead of the amateurs that you never heard of.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, they're people that we know already, and I like to see their personalities clashing and seeing them like just in competition and like just playful, like making fun of each other. It's fun and it's cool to watch. I don't know, I like knowing that they're kind of friends.
Yeah. Oh no, I hear you. I think the competition within the competition gets that extra element that makes it a lot of fun. Is FNS your favorite Food Network show, like ever? Or I mean,
no.
Okay.
My first favorite is definitely Cutthroat Kitchen.
Right, but you're getting back into it, which I'm happy that you are. You're finally watching it again.
There was a period of time where I didn't, but Cutthroat is definitely my favorite. Close, or I don't know if it can be considered a second because it's not really on anymore, but if it comes back, I'll just say I loved Good Eats. Good Eats is what basically got me into Food Network and like taught me how to cook. Mm-hmm. And then I like Food Network Star is probably second or third in my favorites. Yeah, it's definitely up there, but Cutthroat for sure is my favorite. And see, I like a lot of the older Food Network Star or the Food Network shows because when I was in like middle school or early high school or something, they used to have this show just called Food Network Challenge, and most of the time it was cakes, but sometimes it was other like types of desserts or like sugar work, and it was the coolest thing ever because these pastry chefs and bakers from literally everywhere would come, and they would have to, it was sort of like Cupcake Wars, but not as kitschy. Okay. Like, Cupcake Wars is so, like, cutesy, like, everything's pink in there, and, like, I don't know, it's just very staged. I don't know, it just seems so fake, and Food Network Star was just, Food Network Challenge was very just, there was no frills, no fluff. And so they were just making these amazing cakes, like, in the shapes of things. And, oh my gosh, look it up. It's so good. I was obsessed with that show, and I watched that all the time, in addition to Good Eats.
When was that show on? How long did it run for? Do you remember?
I don't even know.
Well, how long ago was it? Like, 5 years ago? 10 years ago?
I think I was in middle school, so however long that was. Okay. I'll look it up.
Yeah, no, look it up.
I don't know why you're asking these
I just want to get a time because I don't even know that show. I don't even remember the show at all. So I was just trying to get. What's that? What? Not a true fan. I'm a late bloomer to Food Network. You're the hipster. You liked it before it was cool to like. But yeah, did you find the date? When it premiered, when it ran?
I think it ran from 2005 to 2011.
Oh, I had a good run.
Yeah, it stayed on for a while, and I just remember I watched it all the time, and it was so cool, and yeah, it was just really neat. Like, it says edible art cake competitions, so they had to, like, oh my gosh, it was so cool. I'm sorry, I'm going to fangirl for a sec, but they would have to make these giant, amazing, intricate cakes, and then the worst part ever was at the end. The table that they were working on, they had to put it on a presentation table, so they had to pick up their cake and move it to this other table, and sometimes when they would move it, it would fall. Wow. Man, it was stressful.
Like, was there ever a point where they had to move it and the whole thing toppled over, and they had to, like, restart?
Well, they couldn't restart, because at that point it was done.
So they just lost?
They were just out.
See, that's the other thing. Like, I want to see some of these Food Network stars and some of those shows where that people just fail completely. They just don't get it on the plate. Like, even Chopped, it's very rare for someone to never get anything on the plate. That should happen a couple times, I think. You think it would.
I used to love Chopped. I loved Chopped. We watched that all the time. But then Cutthroat came along, and now Chopped is so boring.
Wow, Ted Allen's he's gonna hear this.
I love Ted Allen.
You're kissing up now. Am I allowed to watch Food Network Challenge, or am I not true enough of a fan to get it?
I don't know where you'd find it, but for sure you can watch it. I thought it was so good. I don't know. My parents and I used to watch that all the time. It was just really fun. It was just pure and simple. Like, hey, here's your time limit. Here's what you have to do, and then you did it. And if you didn't do it, then okay, like, that was it. And they made these amazing cakes. Like, some of them were like as big as like floor to ceiling. Like, it was crazy. They're amazing.
How many people on a team, generally?
It depends. It depended on the competition because it was different every time. But normally it would be like the main cake artist and then their assistant or whatever, their sous. I don't know if you call them a sous chef if they're
pastry
not
chef,
whatever. But sometimes there were teams of like 4. It just depended. Sure. But so much better than Cupcake Wars or whatever those other shows are. Just so much better, in my opinion.
I think those are all great show choices. I don't know. I don't know exactly what my favorite is. I think I would go Cutthroat's close. I think I would go Iron Chef America though. I love that big stage. You forgot about it, and I'm not the true Food Network fan apparently, but a little forgetful. But no, the big stage. You would have Alton Brown to give your Alton reference.
Yo, I missed the chairman.
The chairman.
And Alton Brown, yes.
Yeah, you're fangirling over there. That stage was awesome. It was such a cool competition. That's probably my favorite. Let me give you another that I think is super underrated. I don't think it exists. I don't think there's any new episodes anymore. The Great Food Truck Race. I had a lot of fun with that one. I thought that was.
I loved that show in its first season, and I thought it was so cool. And then the next season, they ruined it, and I didn't like it anymore.
You're just a little hipster. Everything's got to be before someone starts watching it. How did they ruin it?
Because I think that they ruined it, and honestly, don't even ask me why I think this is the thing, but they, on the first season, the first or second season, you were, the people who were on the show were people who are already successful food truck owners. So they came on the show and they were like, we're good at this. We know what we're doing. This is how we do stuff. And then they had to do challenges. But with after the first or second season, whenever they changed it so that, when, the people that would come on, they didn't own food trucks yet. So they would give them a food truck, and then once they got eliminated, they would take away that food truck, and you were competing to win the food truck. Right. And it just seems so, I don't know why.
That's what got you, that they would lose their food truck?
I think so. I remember watching it, whichever it was, the second or third season. I remember sitting there going, this is boring. I was not having fun with it. I didn't like it.
Wow, that surprises me. I think you need to go back and try it again, because I think now that you've separated from watching that first season and the way they used to do it, you're not attached to that anymore, and I think you'd enjoy it a lot more. But I thought it was a lot of fun. I love competition. Tyler is, I think, another underrated Food Network personality. I can't remember his last name. It's probably not a good way.
Florence.
Thank you. It's probably not a good idea to be like, I love that guy. I don't know your last name, but I love that guy. Yeah, Tyler Florence.
Get on to our actual review now.
Okay. Well, I think we said we do this about 45 minutes to an hour, right? Are you still? You have time for us and the listeners? Because we're only 20 minutes in. I figured we could banter, a little bit. We have a couple things.
I feel like we should make a whole separate episode talking about our favorite
Food Network. No, because it's all going to be under the umbrella of the food review.
Oh, my goodness, fine.
We can banter a little bit, and you don't want to...
Food Network show ever? Cooks versus Cons.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. That is... And it's one man's fault. The idea is 50-50. And I like Jeffrey Zakarian in points.
I love him.
He's a good cook.
I have a lot of love for that guy, but wow, he tries way too hard. He's a Ted Allen wannabe.
You're going in. Oh man. I
can't stand it. It will come on after, I think, Cutthroat. The other day it came on after Cutthroat. And I was 5 seconds in hearing him introduce the show, and I was already like, turn it off, please. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's painful. It's painful to watch.
He's trying way too hard.
Yes, but something that I've recently discovered is a really good show. I don't know when I started sort of watching it, but The Kitchen, which is sort of like the daytime, Food Network show. It has Jeff Morrow, Jeffrey Zakarian, Sunny Anderson, Katie Lee, and I forget the other girl's name. But
are you trying to say your first name or her last name? You want Mar and I'm Marge Simpson,
Maria or something. I don't know. Marcella.
Is that you working through?
I don't know.
Another person,
whatever. But it's like a talk show type thing, but obviously they're cooking and they're showing you all these tips, and Jeff Morrow is just so funny, and they show some really awesome ideas, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. I like that show too.
Yeah, I saw it on the other day. I don't watch a lot of Food Network in the morning, afternoon, because I'm I'm not the purist, I'll admit it. I just like watching the competition. I don't really want to learn, but you yell at me for it. Yeah, quicks versus cons. Do you like the premise of the show? Forget about Jeffrey Zakarian.
No.
But you don't know, so that's why that was a quick no.
Because I feel like, well, okay, I think it's dumb for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's dumb because I feel like Food Network, like if I was going on that show, I would already know if I was a cook or not. So I feel like it wouldn't be that fun for me to even be on the show because I personally obviously know who I am. But besides that, I think that it's just so lame because it's like, for me, personally, I'm not a chef, but I feel like I know how to cook. I mean, I'm pretty good at it, ish.
Yeah.
At least with certain things. So if I went on that show, like, I feel like I could probably make something that's pretty good, and then, like, I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say. Basically, it doesn't matter if someone's a chef or not, if they're classically trained or if they're, like, in the actual business. If they cook something that tastes good and they use good technique, then it's almost just like, okay, what does it matter? Like, the fact that a lot of times, I mean, I honestly don't watch that much because I hear Jeffrey Zakarian and I turn off, but
wow, you're just alienating Food Network personalities right now.
But when I have watched it, you know, the chefs, the judges will sit there and they're like, wow, all 4 of these dishes are really good.
Right.
And I'm just like, so what's the point then? Like, just because they're not a chef, they still made a good dish. I don't understand what the point is.
Right. No, I think that's the biggest issue. It's who cares? You know, the gap has closed so much between, you know, professionally trained in the business cook and someone that can, you know, just internet and just, you know, learn from home. They've proven that they can cook. Or learn.
Teach you a lot.
Sure,
you know?
I mean, learn from anywhere, even if you're not an actual trained professional in the kitchen kind of cook. You can still be a good cook, and they've shown that with every other show, whether that's Food Network star, Beat Bobby Flay. Amateurs go on there and they make killer dishes. So who cares about that? I think it would be fun, and I've told you this before. I think it would be fun if I was in it, because I disagree with you about it wouldn't be fun to be on it. I think it'd be a lot of fun because the point of it is to win. Who cares about? The people that are on it don't care about if they're a cook or a con. They just want to prove that they can win. Either the cook wants to show that, hey, I am the best, or the quote-unquote con wants to show, hey, I can cook like anybody else too. It'd be fun to watch it and judge it because you get to see everything, and you can kind of make your own judgment from there.
I agree it would be fun to judge it.
Yeah, or even just watch it. If you were there in person, you could watch every single one of their moves. But whenever you get it only through the lens of an edited program and what the judges say, I think it just loses a lot of flavor, and it's not a sincere show because it's based on the premise of lies to start. Cook versus con, we don't know who you are. Jeffrey Zakarian is trying way too hard. He is. I think you don't really like Jeffrey Zakarian. I think like he hurt I don't know, he robbed you or something. We're really going in on him, and then the judges are also insincere because they have the what? I can't believe that, even though they certainly could. They could believe whatever.
Yeah, right.
They're all good cooks there.
Yeah, I think everything on that show is just so over the top.
Yeah.
Like, Jeffrey Zakarian is just too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then the judges are all like, wow! Like, okay, chill out. You've seen other chefs. Like, you know how to cook. I mean, what the heck? It's not that interesting. But yeah. I think if I was a chef and I went on that show and a con beat me, I think I'd be pretty mad.
Yeah, I would too. So I think if you were on it, it'd be fun. I think if you judged it, it'd be fun. But I think the way it's done, it's very insincere. So I think that you're right. We should move on to Haas's. I think there's a couple of things we have to do. We need to subscribe to our own YouTube channel. We have no subscribers. Neither of us have decided to maybe get that viewer count up a little bit. So we got to do that. If you are listening to us, please subscribe. Hopefully we're going to get into a more regular episodes, and if you have a restaurant review you'd like to see, please let us know. Today, though, is Haas's, and as I said at the top, Kaitlyn, you're the Haas's veteran. I'm really the rookie. I think this is the first time I've ever been to Haas's. Maybe once or twice
Which
before.
is insane
I know.
to me.
It is. I need to have better food taste, I guess, or at least maybe go outside because I don't do that. I might have been there before, but it had to be at least 5-10 years since I've been to a Haas's. You've gone all the time, right? Explain your relationship
I go all
with
the
Haas's.
time. Really quick, for anybody who doesn't know, because I just looked up the locations for Haas's, and Haas's is basically only exists in Pennsylvania. It looks like there's one in Maryland. I think that's Maryland, or maybe it's Upper West Virginia or something. Yeah, so if you're in Pennsylvania, you probably know, hopefully, what a Haas's is. If you don't, then I'm really sorry, because it's a pretty good restaurant. It's like, the full name is Haas's Steak and Seafood or something like that. So it's basically just American, regular, like, not that interesting food. But I love it because of a couple reasons, which I guess we'll get into then. But I am certainly, I'm the opposite. I'm an expert. Okay. Haas's goer. I don't know.
That started so confidently, and then you ended it so
I know,
so
I don't
neatly.
know words to use anymore. But
Patron. You're an expert patron.
Yes. When I was little, there was a Haas's near the town that I used to live in, and when we moved, there's a Haas's literally right down the street from me. Mm-hmm. So I grew up going to Haas's a lot. We used to go there for, like, family dinner things. And then now, a lot of times, like, we go Sundays after church. Like, that's kind of our go-to. If we're hungry after church, all I have to do is, like, ask my dad, hey, do you want to go out? And he will literally be like, so is Haas's on the menu? And we all are like, yes. And so the four of us all go. Because that's kind of our place. I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's not high-end food at all. Mm-hmm. But it's really, it's good food at a good price, and I don't know. You can't beat that necessarily.
Are you advertising for Haas's? Are we sponsored?
Yeah.
Because that felt like a straight advertisement. Okay. I question your objectivity a little bit, but okay. We'll get into it. It was founded in 1983. I did not realize it was just PA only, but you're right. It is really just a PA chain. We were actually near the headquarters. The headquarters are in Duncansville, PA, which is, central PA, Altoona. We ate at an Evansburg, PA, which is about a half hour away from Altoona, so we were near the actual headquarters of Haas's. I'd never really been there before. I guess there aren't too many in my area. I think maybe they're more central-ish PA. Maybe I haven't looked at the actual map.
There are a lot all through Pennsylvania.
Okay, so maybe I'm totally wrong.
Probably
maybe I'm totally
figure
wrong.
your life out.
Okay, well, I don't live to go to Haas's. It's not, like I said, it's not high end. It's all American food though, just to get the cuisine out of the way. I don't know if you said that or not, but it's
I already said that. But
did you? I'm sorry. I was looking up when it was founded because I didn't know research.
Food restaurant. That's what it calls itself.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is there's a salad bar in every one. And it's not just like a dinky little salad bar that you can get at anywhere. It's this big thing that has obviously huge salad selection, just lots of different types of toppings and dressings and that type of thing. But they also have things like nachos and mac and cheese and all different sorts of bread, like cinnamon bread and garlic bread and everything. Rolls, and they have this really good butter, like, for the rolls. Oh, it's so good. And they have this whole thing of fruit, and then usually a whole side of the bar, if you will, that's all dessert. And it's just amazing. So when you go there, you can order just the salad bar, or you can order a meal, and most of the meals come with the salad bar. So I typically go for a meal because I like to have the hot meal type thing. But I always go to the salad bar. It's so good.
Do you know if Haas's has always been this model of the salad bar, like the big, buffet-ish. It's not an actual buffet, but it's a salad bar that's on steroids, kind of, sort of, with actual meals to order. Have they always kind of been that way, at least as far as you remember? Has that always been their setup?
Ever since I was little,
yeah,
it's been like that, because I pretty much, the things that I order change, but I always get basically the same thing at the salad bar ever since I can remember.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because I was wondering if they maybe paved the way a little bit for this style. Like, I think of an Eaton Park today that has, I think, a very similar setup. But I wonder who was first.
I've never been to an Eaton Park that has a really good salad bar like that, though.
Really? You've never been?
Haas's has a huge... I don't go to Eaton Park a lot, I guess.
Well, Haas's is bigger than Eaton Park, but I just wonder, and we probably should have done some more research. I should have done some more research before, but I'm just curious, because I think maybe was a little unique if they had done it 20 years ago when other places were either straight buffet the whole way through, or they were just, table-side service. There wasn't a salad bar kind of thing. But let's get into our order. Kaitlyn, what did you get? Do you always get the same thing? I know you said the salad bar is the same. You get different meals though?
No, I normally get, I don't know. When I was younger, I used to get, they have these steak tips, and so it's just like cut up steak. Mm-hmm. And I used to get that all the time with a baked potato. That's definitely a go-to if I don't know what I want to order. They also have this chicken parmesan that sometimes can be a little mediocre, if I'm being honest, but I get it all the time anyway, because whatever. But this particular time, for some reason, I don't know why I did this, but I went a little off my beaten path, at least, and I got a ground sirloin and wow, it just left my head. What did I get as a side? Did you get a baked potato? Did I get a baked potato? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, baked potato and a ground sirloin. Yeah.
Yep. That's what it's called. You were looking for an extra word there.
I don't know how to talk today, which is a good thing I'm doing a...
So, all right, what did you think of the... Because I knew you got a lot of stuff, but what did you think of the sirloin and the baked potato?
Well, I thought... I knew what I was getting. Ground sirloin. It's ground up like a hamburger, like ground beef.
Sure.
But it was just like eating a giant hamburger without anything on it. And she had asked me if I wanted gravy and onions and peppers or something on my sirloin. And I had said no because I think in my head I was like, I'm going to be healthy and not have gravy. But... It was kind of boring just because I didn't have anything on top of it. Mm-hmm. But it tasted good. It tasted fine. Baked potato, you can't go wrong with a baked potato normally. So, really good baked potato, and the sirloin was pretty good. So, overall it was okay.
Did the baked potato come with sour cream? I can't remember if it...
Yes.
Did it come with enough? Well,
she asked me if I wanted some.
Okay.
So she gives you sour cream and butter, and then there's salt and pepper. I don't think I did it this time, but previously, a lot of times when I get baked potatoes at Haas's, I will go up to the salad bar, and they have bacon bits for your salad, and they have cheese for your salad. So I get a plate, and I put bacon and cheese on the plate, and then I bring it back to my table and put it in my baked potatoes. So I have a loaded baked potato.
Oh, that's creative.
Tip
that's very nice.
For the day if you're going to Haas's.
That's a very good tip. Was there enough sour cream though? Because sometimes they shortchange you and they don't give you enough, and you just get a half bit, sour cream baked potato, and the other half dry.
Yeah. As far as I can remember, I think it was pretty good. I don't remember feeling like it was lacking or anything.
Okay, fair enough.
They give you a lot of butter.
They give you a lot of butter. Yeah, they did. I do remember that. A lot of butter. For my meal, and then we'll go back to the salad bar after I go through my spiel, because you said that a lot better than probably I'll describe my meal. I got a country fried steak, because I love country fried steak, all day with that, and mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes were just okay. The gravy, I think it was a beef gravy. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it was like instant potatoes, but I didn't love it. The texture was fine, but the flavor, it's hard to describe. I just didn't think it tasted maybe a little instanty mashed potato. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Maybe it's. I don't want to say anything out of turn and disparage good old Hoss's, but I don't know. I didn't love it. The country fried steak was good though. I thought it was good flavor. The breading was fine. I liked the country fried steak. So it's been a little while since we went to Hoss's. So I'm trying to remember back to my review of it. But it was pretty good. The mashed potatoes, okay, but the country fried steak I thought was solid.
Cool.
Yeah?
I think that's probably pretty accurate, just, like, knowing Hoss's. It's like, you go there and you get a good meal. It's not amazing. It's not like going to a 5-star restaurant, obviously, but it's a good, solid meal.
What about salad bar? You said you always get the same thing, salad bar.
Yeah, I generally get the same thing. I guess sometimes I don't, but most of the time. I go and I get a salad first, and I mean, I'm not going to go through every single thing that I put on my salad because I like to have a lot of stuff, but I always get a salad. I usually get soup, and they always have a pretty good range of soups there. They always have chicken noodle. They also generally keep French onion soup on their menu, and they usually have something more like chili or like a thicker type of soup, and then they also sometimes have like a creamy soup. So they give you like a lot of different choices. I think this time I got French onion. And what's cool about French onion soup is that they usually have a little container of cheese and croutons next to it, so because they're not serving it to you like at your table, you're serving it to yourself. They don't keep the cheese in the soup thing, obviously. So I don't know, I like it because then you can kind of like mix it around, put as much cheese as you want in it or whatever. What else? Oh, like I said, there's lots of different types of bread. There's the cinnamon bread, which I will get to later. And then there's garlic bread and sometimes some other type of bread. And then they always have wheat rolls and white rolls. I don't think this time I got bread, but sometimes I get garlic bread. And then for dessert, I always get ice cream. And here we go. This is actually the number one tip.
Okay. I'm buckled up.
Because my dad taught me this from a very young age, okay?
Okay.
So here's what you do.
Okay.
You take the little cup that you're going to put your ice cream in, and they usually have, as part of their dessert bar, they usually have some sort of brownie. So you take the cup and put a brownie in first, and then you put the ice cream on top, and then you put whatever toppings. And always they have really good whipped topping there. I don't know if what kind it is or if they make it or whatever, but I always put a crap ton of that on. And then it's just amazing because you have like this little sundae, and it didn't really cost anything extra because you already paid for your meal, whatever.
Right.
But that's amazing. When I was little, I also used to, for the cinnamon bread, they have, normally over by the bread, they have a bottle of icing that you're supposed to put on top of the cinnamon bread. And sometimes I do that, but when I was little, I used to put the icing on my ice cream sundae.
Oh, man, you were loading that thing up.
I know, it was crazy, but that's the beauty of Hoss's. You can do whatever you want.
So what did you get this time?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got a salad, and I think I got French onion soup.
Right.
And then I just got ice cream for dessert, just no brownie or anything. I didn't really go that hard this time that we went, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a ton from there. I did like the selection though. It does come with the meal. At least certain entrees will get the salad bar. Mine did. I think it was cheap too. Like my country fried steak, mashed potatoes, and a salad bar. I think it was $9.99 or $10.99.
Yeah,
it was a really good price for that because you get a lot of food.
Yeah, and if you just get the salad bar, it's $7.99. So you might as well just get a meal and then you get the meal and the salad bar.
All right, I mean, you
And
get
it's
the
so
meal
cheap.
for a couple bucks. I got chicken noodle soup, which tasted fine. The chicken was good. The broth was, fine. It tasted pretty fresh. We also got there early though, so that should be. I think we got there right around as it opened. So yeah, that's just a little caveat there. My only complaint though, not enough noodle. I feel like maybe I just didn't hunt for it enough, but I just felt like it was broth and some chicken. I just feel like I did not get enough actual noodle in there. And so
Okay, but their noodles are really good.
yeah,
I like noodles a
it
lot.
was a good bite. I just feel like I didn't get enough, and I felt like I was getting too much broth to, the broth to noodle ratio was off. I want a lot of noodle in my chicken noodle, and I just felt like it wasn't enough there. Maybe that's my fault. I am serving it myself, and maybe I didn't hunt well enough for it. What else did I get? I got ice cream, just straight vanilla ice cream. Vanilla ice cream was fine. I should have gotten some toppings on it. If I go back, I will definitely load that up, and I will use your dad's
Oh, it's so good.
advice.
It's worth it.
I got the garlic toast, garlic bread, which was good. My only complaint though, I don't like you have to cut it up. I don't want to have to do the manual labor of cutting up the garlic bread. They give you the big cleaver there because they're just big, loaves almost the garlic bread.
Cleaver?
Yeah, okay, it wasn't an actual cleaver, but it was a big knife. It was a big knife. I was playing it up a little bit, but I don't want to have to work for that. Cut it up for me, horses. I don't want to do the work.
I don't know. I kind of disagree because I like it because you can pick how big your piece is going to be. And I think that it makes it seem fresher because it's not like these pieces have been sitting out for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
They're still in the loaf. So I don't know. I think cutting it makes it fresher.
I don't know. I mean, it was good though. I mean, I love garlic bread. I think if your place that has good garlic bread, I think you're pretty solid. I think it was everything that I got. Was that everything that you got on your plate? I think that was.
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, that's a lot of food, and again, for a pretty good price. Anything else to add with Haas's? The service was fine. Our waitress was very nice. It wasn't too busy when we got in. It filled up pretty quickly. I said we were hitting lunchtime. We got there right around 11 a.m. So we hit it right before the lunch rush. I thought it was a pretty clean place. I didn't have any complaints there. But again, it was basically first table of the day almost. So maybe that had something to do with it. Anything else, Kaitlyn, to add on Haas's?
Well, I think that the Haas's that we went to was a little compared to the one that I live near. So I should probably take you to a different Haas's also. I personally probably wouldn't order the ground sirloin again just because, like I said, I did feel like it was a little bit boring. But I've grown up going to Haas's and I normally get pretty decent food, and like you said, it's a good price. And I don't know, I especially like to have choices when I'm dining out, and I really like when I can get like the most bang for my buck. So I love the concept of the salad bar, the dessert bar, the bread and soup and stuff, because I don't know, it's just if my meal isn't good or if it isn't enough, like the salad bar always has my back, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, and I think I'll always love it just because it's where my family goes. So
right, this little sentimental value.
Yeah.
What would you recommend if you had to order an entree or something? You said no to the ground sirloin. But
the steak tips and baked potato.
Baked potato.
I mean, I don't know how that particular Haas's is, but generally, because it is, quote unquote, a steakhouse, so I think that they do a good job with their steaks. I like the tips because they're typically like pretty juicy and they're seasoned well and stuff like that. So yeah, I've never really had dry steak there, which is a good thing, obviously.
I'll have to get a steak next time, but you know me, I'm very picky about my steaks. It's got to be perfect. And I don't know if Haas's can pull it off, but I'll have to try.
But have you ever actually had a perfect steak?
I have. I've had, I mean, not perfect. I've had really good steak before. I like steak. I don't want people to get the idea that I don't like steak. I just, you can't overcook it at all. I hate overcooked steak. I don't want to eat a shoe. I don't get how you get your steak. How do you get your steak cooked? Let me ask you. I don't want to
medium.
Medium. Okay,
It's not dry.
I think that is as far as anybody should go. Medium well, and God forbid, well done. What are you doing? Just throw it out. I'm a medium rare guy. It's got to be medium rare, and I don't want to go too far over.
Do you like when there's blood coming out of it?
A little, medium rare. A little pink. Yeah, I don't want it mooing. But I think if you overcook a steak, then.
Well, that's how you have to cook it on Food Network. Going back to that,
really,
you cook it medium rare.
Oh, cook it medium rare. I thought you said cook it well done.
No. Oh my goodness, no.
I was gonna say,
like, if you're cooking for any of the judges on any of the shows, like standard or whatever that is set, is you cook it medium rare. So.
Yeah, well, that's why. Yeah, maybe I should be. Maybe I should. I think I'm right then. I think I'm justified in my answer. Okay, let's wrap up Haas's, and then we'll get to one more thing. But Kaitlyn, I know we said we were gonna have a different metric that wasn't just fries, on a scale of 1 to 5, but I have not thought of anything, and so I think we're just gonna ride this fry train and just stick with fries from now on. So if you're okay with that, on a scale of 1 to 5 fries, everything encompassing your experience at Haas's, the time that we went.
Okay, so that's the time that I went.
It can be, I guess,
not
however
my whole life.
Oh, I guess it's dealer's choice. However you view it, you can have whatever criteria that you want. I mean, people can vote for it because their past experiences. So I don't want to tell you how to vote. So you just give me your review, your final word, and your review on Haas's.
Okay. Well, I love it because I always have gone there, so I know what to order there. Like, I feel comfortable with the menu. They have a lot of different choices, and I love the salad bar. I think sometimes you can get meals that are a little mediocre just because it's not a perfect place. So I think that I would rate overall, including all of my past experiences, I would probably rate it. Why do I have such a hard time with this? Like 4.
4
out of
fries.
5.
Do you remember what you gave Sheets? I don't remember what you gave Sheets. I'm just curious on the comparison.
I don't remember. Maybe 3.
Maybe 3? I think you gave a better score than that.
I don't know.
All right, 4 folks is a good score, though. I mean, there's no shame in that at all. Again, for someone like me that doesn't have that sentimental attachment to Haas's, that can't come into play with me. I thought it was a fine meal. I think you said it really well, Kaitlyn, when you said bang for your buck. I think it's very reasonably priced food, and you get a ton of it, especially if you do that salad bar, which I definitely recommend, because I think for the amount of food that you're going to get for, get an entree and get a salad bar, you're spending $15 total, and you're set. So I think that's nice to see. My concern with Haas's is I don't know if I'm ever going to walk out of there saying, wow, that was a great meal, or wow, you have to try this dish. I think everything is just okay to pretty good, but there's nothing that is going to make me say, well, I got to go back to Haas's, tomorrow. There's just nothing there like that. So I'm going to say 3 forks. Or 3 fries. I screwed it up. I screwed it up. Yeah, because this is as I've said before, this is our bit of a copycat from the Doughboys podcast, which has got a couple more subscribers than ours, and this is kind of where it's born from. And they have a fork scale, and I've been listening to it a lot. So I'm sorry I ruined this. I'm a really bad co-host, but 3 fries out of 5. I think it's fine. It's a good price. I don't think it's gonna wow you, but if you want a cheap, meal that has a lot of food with it, I think Haas is a good place for it. Okay, so you gave it 4, I gave it 3. I think that's fair all around. Last thing we're gonna do before we get out of here on And a Side of Fries is we need to do a question of the podcast, at least. Where Kaitlyn, we're gonna discuss one food-related question. And it's a pretty popular one and a really controversial one. I know you seem like you're unsure of what it's going to be.
What?
I think I know the answer to this from you, Kaitlyn, but tell our listeners. No, it's fine. It's fine. Pineapple on a pizza, yay or nay?
Oh, yes, 1,000 times yes.
I think that's pushing it. I think that's a little too aggressive of an answer.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Pineapple is an awesome topping to have on pizza, and I'll give you some reasons why. Okay.
I didn't realize. Are you pulling out a speech right now that you had written? Is that what you're doing? I think you're passionate about this. I had no idea.
I am very passionate about this because, one, pineapple is just really, really good in any circumstance. Love it. But two, on pizza, it's this awesome little tiny burst of flavor that just happens in your mouth. And it's just, like, it's somehow, even through the cooking process, retains, like, the juiciness of fruit. And oh my gosh, it's just so good. I love taking a bite into my pizza, and everything's sort of savory, but then you have this sweet little juicy burst in your mouth, and it's so good. And I also love it because if you get a Hawaiian pizza, which is pineapple and ham, or if you get pineapple and bacon, or pineapple and pepperoni, or pineapple and sausage, any of those are just amazing. My favorite is pineapple and pepperoni, for the record. But it's good. I don't know. I think it's a really good way to counteract sort of the meat and the cheese, because that can seem sort of one note. And I think that the pineapple gives your pizza some dimension. Okay, gives you some depth, and it just tastes so good. Oh my gosh, I love it, and I know that on the internet, like, it's such a debate or whatever, but I really don't understand why. I mean, if you don't like pineapple, then maybe that's one thing, but if you like pineapple, I don't understand why you wouldn't like it on a pizza. I don't get it.
That's fair. Yeah, I think the people that say it's awful and there's no way it belongs on a pizza, I think they're just wrong. I think it's okay. It's fine. It's not terrible. But would I get it? No, I wouldn't. I don't think that kind of citrusy flavor has any place.
Citrusy?
Well, it's a little. However you want to describe, that fruity taste on a pizza, I don't think it meshes well. If I'm going to get something...
When was the last time that you had pineapple on a pizza?
It's been a while because I don't like it. I mean, so I don't really get it. And unless someone else has ordered it, I'm not going to get it. If you want to go with a different note, to use your word, the big foodie word that you threw in there, Kaitlyn, I would go green pepper. I think green pepper is the go-to for me if I want a vegetable, even maybe some sort of red onion or whatever onion they have there. I'm not a big onion guy in general, but I think that
I love onions on pizza.
Yeah, I think that offsets well. But green pepper is my go-to if I want something where it's pepperoni and green pepper, especially for me, sausage green pepper. That's kind of where it's at for the pizza. So I don't think pineapple's awful. Don't these debates, like you said, they're way too over the top. But I'm not a huge. I will not order a pineapple pizza. So, but clearly you will, and so we have to go to war.
I literally had it like a week ago.
Did you? From where? Where'd you get it from?
I think Papa John's.
You get Papa John's pizza? Oh, that's a separate. We could go 2 hours more on this because that's really bad.
For the
pizza.
Record, I didn't order it.
Okay. Do you like Papa John's pizza?
Papa John's.
You like? Oh, we gotta end this. We gotta end this podcast. We gotta shut this down. That's really, really bad pizza, Kaitlyn.
I don't know, because the person who orders it whenever we order Papa John's is my dad, and my dad grew up in New Jersey, very close to New York City, where he was raised as a huge pizza snob. He does not care for Pizza Hut. If we order pizza, it's usually Papa John's or Domino's. But generally, like, even that, like, he doesn't, like, I'm surprised that he's picked a brand that he will order from, because generally he doesn't like non-authentic pizza. Like, he's a purist.
Right. So he likes Papa John's, though?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, he must, to a certain extent, because that's what we order. He does not like Pizza Hut.
Really? I like Pizza Hut. I'm a pizza. Pizza Hut's my favorite. Domino's is good too. Papa John's, though, we'll have to save that for maybe we'll have to go to Papa John's or get a pizza, because I have not had Papa John's in years and years, because I've just been like,
you know what my favorite part of Papa John's pizza is?
Pineapple and pepperoni.
No,
what?
You can get it anywhere.
Okay.
In every Papa John's box, they have a little thing of this garlic sauce stuff that you could dip your pizza in, and wow, it's so good. and I just love garlic, and it's really good.
You're a monster.
But Domino's Pizza has like a garlic in the crust.
Yeah,
I really like that a lot.
Okay. All right, wait. We'll have to do this for another time. We're definitely gonna get to Domino's, but we're gonna have to go to Papa John's. 'Cause maybe I'm wrong. I also don't like Papa John himself. He's seems like a terrible person. I hate that he's in his own ads. You shouldn't be in your own ads. That's so self-serving. But all right, we'll have to stop it there. But we'll do some pizza chains soon. So, Kaitlyn, thanks so much for being on the the podcast again. I'm glad that we're back. I promise for anyone who's listening. We'll do these more often. Again, if you have a place you'd like us to review or any questions or other comments, let us know on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and a side of fries. So, yeah, Kaitlyn, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on.
Woo! Yeah, it was fun. We need to do it more often.
We will. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.